Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie addresses the largest summit in the hemisphere for regional leaders.
Well, the 7th Summit of the Americas will go down in history as one of the most noted gatherings. The conference brought together leaders of the Americas and the Caribbean to discuss issues of mutual importance and affecting not only the region but the world. Trade, human rights, youth participation, crime, energy, and climate change were some of the topics on the compact schedule. During the final session, Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie addressed the forum. This time, his message focused on the country's most complex issues of migration, crime, and youth. Clint Watson has a recap of that speech.
Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie told the Summit of Americas that the Bahamas makes no apology in the method it has to use to deal with the illegal immigration problem and what it must do to arrest the issue and return those migrants home.
Irregular migration is an existential threat to the Bahamas. And right now, we commit hundreds of millions of dollars to stop this assault on our country. Yet only one side of the story is being told. There must be a balanced approach on this issue. Too often, there is a portrayal on this issue that does not admit to the fact that there is an international, sophisticated criminal enterprise that is driving these irregular migration efforts through the Bahamas. The Bahamas is dedicated to stopping this criminal enterprise before it stops us. I wanted to be clear at this forum how strong we feel on this matter. We will be calling upon all states adjacent to us and in this hemisphere to help to stop this smuggling and trafficking.
Mr. Christie notes that while the human rights of those migrants must be respected, he drew attention to those neighboring states who he says has an obligation to ensure that this law is enforced.
The present trend in illegal migration to and through the Bahamas cannot and must not persist. It is unsustainable. We therefore see a unique opportunity for the region and hemisphere to cooperate on this issue of irregular migration and to facilitate burden sharing on solutions to the challenge. We see dialogue as a necessary first step, particularly through the development of regional consultative mechanisms, and welcome the support of the OAS.
The Prime Minister also addressed regular migration as well, stating that too many of our citizens are leaving our homes to actually help develop other countries, taking the talents out of the home countries.
I speak up for our young people who are our future, but who in too many instances are driven to leave our countries for other shores, taking with them the investments in their education on God-given talents. I have said, and I repeat it, we must focus on eliminating their sense of hopelessness, their joblessness. Because if we fail to do so, if we fail to address it properly, we do so at our peril.
Climate change and development for financing are also key areas addressed by the Prime Minister, but he noted as well his passion, that is youth development, talking particularly about the involvement of young people in crime, speaking to the fact that they are involved in illicit drug trafficking, narcotics. He even went as far as to say in the importation of ammunition and firearms, something he called on the Americas to help the Bahamas address.
Do not manufacture weapons, nor do we form the demand for the drugs that find their way to our shores. Yet again, we are bound by geography to confront these challenges. And while existing regional security cooperation against transnational threats is commendable, greater regional cooperation to mitigate transnational crime in the hemisphere is required, and we endorse the UN Arms Trade Treaty as a potentially valuable tool in these efforts.
This summit has been This summit has been historic by its very nature. For the very first time, all 35 leaders have gathered, responsible for some 900 million people throughout the Americas. Prime Minister Christie is optimistic that over the coming months, we'll begin to see some tangible change, issues being addressed that have come out of these talks. In Panama City, Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.